Hello, my name is Doug Leasure, and I want to welcome you again to another training session for Active Planner. Today we're going to cover sections. And so within Active Planner, sections are a wonderful feature that allows us to insert rows automatically in our plan sheets. More importantly, that range of rows that we insert are also maintained by Active Planner, such that if later we add additional counts within that range, we can tell Active Planner to automatically go out and insert any missing accounts. So let me show you how that works. We're going to start by using one of the plan sheets we created previously. So let's take the calc sheet, and we're just going to make a quick copy of that and rename it. So we'll just rename it and call it sections. Okay, and this is the sheet we'll begin working with today. Okay, if you remember from last time, we created our plan sheet so that it had the salary, the G&A expenses listed here, and then we brought in a default increase as well as an increase for the salary account numbers from our assumption sheet. So let's just build on this a little bit further. And if I choose a row here, let's say we're going to highlight row 23, and this is the place where I want to insert my section, then I would just highlight the entire row and do a section, and then under section control I have an insert or append. The append is always at the end of the plan sheet. That is to add rows at the bottom of the plan sheet. The insert will allow me to insert the new section in the row at the spot where I've selected the entire row. So we'll do that. We'll choose the insert. And then for our section, this will be our salary and G&A. So we'll just call it expense. So a section, like most other things you create in Active Planner, has a key and a description. And next thing I wanted to point out that every section has a body to it, which will be typically one or more rows. But it also has a header and a footer. The header is where we typically would put in the description of what this section is. So let's say it's the expense. And then the footer where we would do typically a totaling row and also insert the formula total. So let's just create it that way. The next thing we need to do is we need to define the range of accounts. So if you click on the button that says define ranges, then we're going to enter a range of accounts. So we know that it's 6,000 for our salary, and location 100, department 800, and the through range. Let's see, we're going to end this at 8,500. Our last G&A expense, and let's click OK there, and everything is filled out. So now we can click the OK, and Active Planner inserts a section comprised of the range of accounts within the range that we designated. And so let me just kind of show you how that might work by artificially deleting some of the rows out of here. Okay, so let's say when we first created the section and inserted the rows, these were the only 5 accounts that existed within that range. Since then, we've added accounts to our GL, and so now we want Active Planner to automatically find out which accounts are missing from this list and insert those automatically. And so if we go to our section and then our generate option, here we can say that we want to generate missing rows. And Active Planner will then search for any missing accounts and insert the new rows. And so we also have the option to regenerate all rows, that is to recreate the entire section, or to generate missing rows and remove invalid rows if you are removing or deleting accounts from your general ledger. Most people don't do that, so the typical options are usually the generate missing or regenerate all rows. And we'll do the the generate missing. And you can see that Active Planner went out, found the rows that were missing from our range, and inserted those new rows. If we look at our view options, we have an option to display the column called section. If we do that, we can see that the top portion has nothing in it. But when we get down here to the bottom where our section has been inserted, you can see that in the column called section, that our section, which we named expense, is listed here. And it begins at the header down through the footer. Okay, we'll just remove that. But I wanted you to see that. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is to go ahead and do a little bit of formatting, etc., on this section here. And what I wanted to point out is that whatever we do to row 1 in our section, the format, the calculation, cell formulas, whatever we do here is going to be applied to every row. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to borrow one of these rows where we've actually done all of the formatting already, and let's just paste that in here. And what else? So let's go get that cell formula that we've created. All right, so we'll just come here and copy that and put it here on our first row. What else would we do? Well, let's see. Let's presume that we're going to go ahead and do a formula here to add up the column. And I like to put a 0 in there so I can see where the formula is located. And again, we'll just do a quick fill right. And now we've created our section and defined it, at least for the first row. So let's just regenerate the whole thing very quickly. And we'll apply that same definition that we've done in the first row, apply that to every row. And so if we take a quick second and just simply recalculate it, we can see that we have brought in the prior year actuals, brought in the increase from our assumption sheet, and calculated our budget, as well as bringing in the current year actuals. Okay, we'll save that plan sheet, and let's take a quick look at some of the options we have with the section. So we're going to go to the section manager. And so what we want to do is we want to take a look at some of the options here. So here we can see all of these sections that we have defined within the plan sheet listed one after another. So not only can we see the sections that we've created, they will be listed here in the order in which they are created. But we also have the option to delete sections, to copy sections, append, or insert. So let's do a quick copy. What it does is it copies at the end of the plan sheet. But we'll go ahead and just run through that step here real quick. And this will be a new section that we're creating. We get an opportunity to modify the way it's defined, including the calculation, the formulas, etc., and also the ranges that have been that we want to define for this new section. So whatever, we'll just put in something so we have a different range, and we'll say OK. Oops, sorry, no accounts found within that range. Yes, so I may have incorrectly defined it, but no big deal. The whole purpose of this is just showing you the copy as well as the delete. So we'll just select the item and delete that section. Okay, the other option we have then is to maintain the section, which is where we go to make changes to the section definition. Again, we could change the range of accounts, whether or not the header footer is displayed, description, etc. We also have the option here to regenerate all rows, missing rows, or remove invalids. Okay, so let's take a look at what we've created so far. We have a section for our expense, mimicking what we had done above, and we used a calculation to bring in the prior actual as well as the current year actual, and then also to retrieve the increase percent from our from our assumption sheet. And as we look down through here, I see that we have a problem. And the problem is simply this. We have in our assumption sheet, we have increased percentages for salaries, but nothing for the auto allowance and the other G&A expenses. In fact, the bigger problem is that I want to treat my salaries one way, but treat my G&A expense a different way. And remember I said that everything that we do on row 1 is going to be applied to every row within the section. So this is a problem in the sense that we want to treat the two pieces of this section differently. But actually, it's not a problem. All we're going to do is just simply make a copy of this section, create a second section then for our G&A expenses, so we can then treat both sections differently. Not a big deal. Let's go ahead and do that here real quickly. So let's go to the section manager. And what we're going to do is make a quick copy of this. And again, it's going to put it at the bottom of our plan sheet. This will be our G&A expense. Okay. For our G&A, the range of accounts will be the actually 6200 through 8500. And for our calculation, we don't want to use a calculation. We want to just simply point it to the default increase that's at the top of the plan sheet. So no calculation. So let's just cut that out of there. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We still want our source net change for actual and current year and prior year actuals. So it's our increase that we just simply want to get rid of. So we'll set that to none. Okay, everything else looks good. We'll say OK. And it inserted the G&A expense. Now while we're here, we actually have our expense section defined incorrectly right now, so let's just take a quick moment. We'll maintain that. So this is really our salary expense. And the range is going to need to be modified as well, because it now goes through 6199. And we'll want to regenerate all of those rows. Okay. And so now if we go ahead and recalculate this whole thing. You know what, let's not do that. I know that we have a problem here because our regular salaries, our assumption sheet had a percentage in there for regular salaries, payroll tax, workers' comp, health insurance, but nothing for hourly and overtime salaries. So let's take a quick second and just go fix up our assumption sheet. So we'll say what we've done here so far. Open up our assumptions where we just simply need to add in a couple new items here. And honestly, it doesn't matter if I put them in order or if I put them at the end. Doesn't matter. Either way will work. So we'll go ahead and just put them at the end. So it'll be our 6010 and our 6020, which is our hourly salaries. and our overtime. And let's see, if we're applying 3.5% to regular salaries, hey, it makes sense that our hourly and overtime salaries would increase by the same percentage. So we'll do that, save it, and now let's go back to our section plan sheet. And let's recalculate everything. And what we'll see is that, yes, we brought in increases for our regular salaries, overtime, hourly, payroll, taxes, and workers' comp. And then for our health insurance, we just want to point this to our default increase. Okay. And I can regenerate the section, but I also know that all it's going to do is just simply fill that same formula down. So we'll just go ahead and take a second and do that manually. Okay, so I think this gives you a pretty good overview of the sections, how that works, and how to apply it. Obviously, I'll just come back and now want to delete this portion of the plan sheet, replacing it effectively with two sections, one for salary expense, one for G&A expense. All right, that's what I wanted to cover. So thank you, and I'll look forward to working with you in a future training session. Thank you.